Growing up in regional Victoria, we had a different form of education or access to education that you might have in the city. The experiences you had there were limited. Often curriculums favoured those who excelled, but a lot of others were left behind. I was one of those ones that got left behind, so I found that I learnt more of my peers, I learnt more of my interactions with others than I necessarily did sitting in a classroom. From there, my sort of career developed into a technology role. Back in the early to mid-90s, I was working at a regional hospital. That exposed me to a great need, and that great need was for training. The paediatrics ward was a great little place for me to set up my little lunchtime training classes. So I said to the CEO, can I have some money to put a few computers together and get the nurses and doctors down and show them how all this stuff works. That was a great learning experience for me, and certainly for them too. It was sort of like my little Dead Poet Society moment, where two people came once, and then the next day it was 3 people, then the next week it was 10 people, and the classes got more and more popular. We're a socially driven organisation, so our mission is essentially to make sure that anybody has access to education. We believe that education is one of the biggest barriers to social inclusion. So it's our mission to make sure that we look at the different types of audiences or the types of learners that are around Australia and now around the world, how they like to learn. We don't believe that a set curriculum, sort of one for all approach. Now we have an organisation where we touch over 3.5 million learners across the world every year, with a team of 30-odd people here in little old Melbourne. People seek us out and we're able to reach those global audiences, and furthermore, our customers are able to reach bigger audiences right across the globe. Being able to impart knowledge is an important part of being human. And when you actually see someone applying the knowledge that you've just given them and seeing them actually put it into action, and that little light bulb pop up into their head, and you see the expressions on their faces change, that they've actually learnt something they can really use that's had a meaningful impact on their life. That's a great feeling. I still get the same, reaction and feeling whenever I see that happen with the products we create today.
I love working here. I love that I've been able to use my skills that I've learnt over different industries in this industry. I love that we change people's lives. I love that we influence learners. I love that we get to empower communities and give access to learning to people that otherwise might not have had access to learning. I love seeing the creative genius of some of our staff. I mean, they take a simple concept and turn it into fun. I love the culture of the organisation. It's very relaxed. We have a lot of fun. We enjoy each other's company, we have a good laugh. I mean, you spend a lot of time at work. You've got to enjoy it. What drew me to Dean was his passion for the industry. He's one of the most visionary people I've ever met. He has ideas all the time, and it's hard to keep up. We make a bit of a joke in the organisation. When Dean travels, we all brace ourselves when he comes back, because the notepad is full of so many ideas. And being on the implementation or the operation side, we're the ones that have to implement it. So we all brace ourselves and think, what's he going to come up with next? But it's great being able to then take that idea and break it down into reality and make it come true in terms of seeing it delivered to customers. I think that's what really makes eCreators.
We'll come up with 1,000 good ideas, we'll narrow that down to the top 10, and they're the top 10 that will give the most focus. Out of that top 10, maybe 2 will make it. But we take that idea, if you like, through a real idea mill type process until we get that end product. Creativity, I mean, it's in everyone's essence here, it really is. So when people come through this door and we speak to them on the first day that we interview them, that oozes out of them, and you can tell creative people the moment you meet them, the moment you shake their hands, almost that electricity, I've met another creative person. You can sort of see them eye to eye. Learning, in essence, is always about filling a competency gap. So when you start over here, for example, here's your current level of competency. You want your learners over here to the desired level of competency. So in the middle, we have the competency gap. So think of it like 2 sides of a canyon. So inside that competency gap, we put training and learning. And that's our objective, to figure out where learners currently are and where they need to be, and these are the wonderful courses we create in the middle to enable that to happen. One of the new things we've just created, for example, is an LXP, so a learning experience platform. which is a new way for learners to learn. Some of the traditional systems that are being used today don't apply to the learners of today. We all learn differently. We're watching YouTube, we're going to Udemy, where we need to figure out what the next step is for the next generation of learners, and that's something that we've created from scratch and we have in development at the moment.
You only need to look at some of our recently created content and the virtual reality and the augmented reality that's coming through. One of the things I love about eCreators is we're always looking forward of what's coming and how we can ensure that we're delivering on those technologies to assist our learners.
Still to come on Industry Leaders, how one business faced its biggest challenges after moving from Hungary to Melbourne. Award-winning Gorgeous Smiles Dental's main goal has always been patient care and beautiful smiles.